You all hate immigrants that pay taxes, but love, adore, and celebrate billionaires.
This guy is a principal at his school. I don't know. I don't really understand how are these people being, given their jobs, but I think that a lot has to do with the fact that he's Hispanic and DEI and whatnot. Because certain people just not fit for certain jobs. Like, I would not, they need to do like a serious psychological analysis to people before giving them jobs like near children. This guy cannot be a principal at a school. He's full of biases and inferiority complexes and whatnot. Like, he's so radicalized. Like, come on. Like, the fact that he's a TikToker should just be like, no, we need somebody serious in schools. Maybe he could be a teacher, but a principal, I don't think so. He's way too young. He's so immature. He's full of traumas and inferiority complexes. He's all about like, immigration and racism, and he has pronouns on his bio. Like, he's completely radicalized by leftist ideologies, by the Democrats. And it all goes down because he's a smart guy. And I think that in a different scenario where he wasn't raised, there's a problem this is one of the issues with one of the main issues with illegal immigrants, that whether they like it or not, they raise children under this umbrella of they always feel like they're less than, and they always feel like people are just mean to them, and they just have these complexes that they just feel like people belittles them in a sense. So yeah, like, if he would have been raised by normal parents, like non-legal immigrant parents, like, he would have not have these traumas that he has, where he just feels that his parents could be deported at any time, or his parents have to cross the border illegally and they have to go through work these odd jobs and get paid below minimum wage and all these things, and live in a community where everybody it's kind of like that. But I don't understand why, like, as I lived in a Hispanic community, and I noticed how a lot of these immigrants, were, and how their children, there was a lot of crime, a lot of drug dealing in the community, a lot of things that were off, a lot of informal economies, and they just seem to not mind that at all. And you'll see how this guy has in other videos, he does not mind that when Mexicans or immigrants or poor people, when they do crimes, he finds that very funny, especially if it's against Americans or against somebody who he seems like, oh, these rich assholes, right? He thinks that's okay. But when it's done the other way around, or when Americans do something to Mexicans, then it's wrong to him because they're just being abusive. So they always have this idea where, like, oh, poor person good. Poor people are good people. It's not their fault that they're poor. It's not their fault that they commit crimes because they were in a desperate situation. Rich people, assholes. Rich people, he cheated on taxes. He didn't pay all of his taxes. Oh, bad. Rich people, bad. They're just jerks. They're just evil people because they're rich. And it's so backwards. Yes, there's good and bad people everywhere, but if anything, rich people are better people than poor people, because rich people create a lot of jobs. They actually make the effort, take a lot of risk, and they make an effort to do above and beyond so that they can have a better standard of living. They can have a better economy. They provide so much to cities. They bring growth. They bring jobs. They bring so much. If everybody was to have a poor person mentality and nobody was to take was to have the growth mindset and the risk-taking mindset that rich people have, none of us would have jobs. Like, all of us would be freaking just like, I don't know, fishing for a living, because nobody would have jobs. Like, rich people are the ones that give jobs. So in order for you to just go to a job and be comfortable and have a safe paycheck every week, you gotta depend on a rich person. If you don't want that, you can start your own business and do things the hard, difficult, long route like they did. None No one here is a victim of their circumstances. Everybody has a different opportunity to do something with their lives. Yes, sometimes, your parents could have made better decisions to set the ground easier for you. But that doesn't mean that you still can make it. A lot of people have made it out of poverty. So now, regarding hating immigrants, nobody hates immigrants, okay? This is the thing. You need to learn about why illegal immigration is bad, first of all, before you just saying like, oh, you don't hate immigrants, you're racist, throwing that word around everywhere. Billionaires are very, 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 very few of them, like a tiny bit. They hardly count, and they pay a lot of money. Not only they pay a lot of money in taxes, they pay more than enough money on taxes. As a matter of fact, everyone across the board should pay 10%. It's very unfair that because some people just don't want to try harder or make stupid decisions, they get to pay no taxes or get to get government assistance that they really don't need. Government assistance should be for people who really, really need it, like maybe a mother who lost her husband, or maybe people who fall under disability, or a woman whose husband left her with a bunch of kids. In those kind of situations, then yeah, government assistance should help, but not in a situation where you just choose to have a bunch of kids that you couldn't afford, and you just rather the government take care of you, although you have a husband or you continue to have children with different men. Like, those kinds of decisions should be like, you should be punished for making stupid decisions like that, not rewarded. And then there's many other ways that a lot of immigrants abuse government assistance. That said, no one hates illegal immigrants, okay? It's just a matter of national security, and there's immigration laws. So we can't just say like, oh, this immigrant, although he crossed illegally, but he's nice, he's da-da-da. It's not that simple, because it's a long story. But basically, if the law says you can't cross illegally, you can't cross illegally. If you're seeking asylum, which most people who are seeking asylum, let's be honest, they're not really seeking asylum. Most immigrants here are Mexicans. Mexicans do not need asylum, because asylum is when you're running away from your government. Like, your government is not protecting your government. As a matter of fact, is putting your life at risk. So if you ask any Mexican or Mexican authority, police, government, they're gonna be like, no, we'll help him. We'll help him out. He can be safe here, or different cities where they can be safe. So no Mexican is under asylum seeking, none of that shit. And in most countries, as a matter of fact, they're not really seeking asylum, because according to some data, like 8 out of 10 people that go to different countries, even in Europe, and they seek an asylum, they always end up, like, once they get their asylum or whatever, they go back to their country. How are you going back to your country if you're seeking asylum you run away from your country, which is so hypocritical. A lot of these people are lying. It's not like they're starving. It's not like they are what we consider extreme poverty is not really extreme poverty. They have enough money for food, they have enough opportunities, they have ways to find jobs. They just don't want to, or they want to come and make more money here in the States. They want to be able to make money in dollars. They want to be able to dress nice clothes, drive nice cars, have luxury. But you're not entitled to luxury. You're not entitled to, just because you wanted to go move to another country. So that said, there's many other reasons why illegal immigration is just wrong, and we can't continue to condone it. I hate for people to get deported. I hate to criticize my people who are in need. I wish we could help them all, but unfortunately, the U.S. is not the place that is responsible for helping everyone in the world that has problems. People at some point need to take accountability over their issues. Not only that, but we bring a lot of problems. Like, a lot of violent criminals do come from Mexico and South America. A lot of issues, like here, you go to any Hispanic community, there's a lot of crime, there's a lot of issues going on. So I just don't understand why they try to act like, oh, like people are racist, and they hate immigrants, and they pay taxes and da. Shut the fuck up. Do your research. Stop spreading lies. It's fucking embarrassing that you're actually a principal of a school and you don't even know how to research. You don't even know the reasons why immigration is wrong. Why don't you ask Mexico, excuse me, President, Mrs. President, why do you have immigration laws? Why don't you help people who are running away from their countries in your country? And why do you have immigration laws for? We're on stolen land anyways. Why don't you help them? If they have immigration laws, why do you think the U.S. shouldn't have them? Why do you think the U.S. should be an exception when everyone in the world wants to live in the U.S.? Imagine if every country was to pour into